This Amateur Radio Roundtable is brought to you in part by ICOM America. Okay, good evening to everybody out there on the internet watching tonight, and those on WBCQ on 5130 kilohertz shortwave station tuned in tonight. We welcome you. If you're tuned in on shortwave, you can join us on the internet at w5kub.com. This is Amateur Radio Roundtable. My name is Tom Medlin, and I think we've got a good show. It's all packed in tonight, but we're going to get it all in and some interesting things for you tonight. If you're new to the show, whether you're in the chat room in a ham or you're on shortwave, at the top of our page, at the top of W5KUB, please check on the link that says Facebook and join our Facebook group. We've got about 6,000 members that follow this webcast and all of our videos that we do, and it's just a great ham radio place to ask questions and get answers and just have a good time. Post your pictures, and by the way, if you post your Ham Shack pictures on the site, we'll try to show them on the show one Tuesday night when we do a segment called Ham Shack Pictures. So be sure and put your pictures in there. Today is Tuesday, August the 15th, and we've got Katie with us. We've got Dwayne with us. We've got Katie's got a special guest with us here tonight. I won't tell you who it is yet. We've got Dave Kassler with us tonight, and then I'm going to be talking some about Huntsville, and got a few pictures, and even got a friend in Huntsville that works there at the Ham Fest. He's going to be calling in, I think, on the phone, and we're going to have a great time. So, first of all, let me jump down to Katie and see if Katie is here. Hello, Katie.
Hello, Tom. Hello, everybody out there.
You and Dwayne are just looking great there. How do you get that lighting so perfect and everything so... You must have a high-def camera.
We got a good shack lighting. If you're contesting, you got to be able to see what you're doing.
Yeah,
well,
we're getting older. It's harder to see sometimes.
Well, you always look really good there, and I tell you, it's just working out great. And hey, your new internet connection is working good too. I just want you to know that.
Yeah,
so,
that's definitely the big thing, is having the better internet in here. And I've got a nice little Logitech HD camera, so that works pretty good. But definitely having the better internet makes, and that definitely makes a big difference.
Yeah. So we've got a lot going on tonight. We've got all sorts of things. We got Huntsville coming up here in a few days. That's going to be an exciting trip we're looking forward to. Let's see, what else? Oh, man, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, I'll think of it in a minute. But let's talk about who you're bringing in as your guest tonight, Katie. Who you got there?
Well, we have with us tonight somebody I think everybody here knows, because he's certainly been a member of the show and is everywhere on the internet and on the radio and contests everywhere else. But I am very excited to welcome our friend Marty Soloway, KC1 Chicken with Fries.
All right. Well, there's Marty. There's Marty. And oh, hey, wait, just stand by just a second. I have to do something here for Marty. Just a little sound. My sound effects up. Go ahead, I'm back now. Hey, how you doing, Marty?
All right.
Doing great. It's great to be here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you, Tom.
Yeah, Marty, your audio is always low there. We always complain.
Oh, is that better?
That's much better. Yeah. You got to get that mic closer or turn it up. So what's the Katie? What's the big news tonight?
Well, the big news is that all of us who are not going to be in Huntsville this weekend, thankfully, will be able to be there remotely via W5KUB.com, because we all want to be able to see what happens on the big stage on Saturday when Marty is there to receive the Bill Pasternak Memorial Amateur Radio Newsline Young Ham of the Year Award. And we are very excited for you, Marty. And first of all, obviously, congratulations to you. Were you super surprised when you got the phone call?
Yeah, I'm so deeply honored and humbled, and it's really a great honor and great privilege. First, to honor Bill Pasternak, who was obviously one of the greats of ham radio, on Mount Hammore, all the faces engraved there. But it's a great honor and a privilege, and I'm super lucky. But yeah, I was surprised. I was totally shocked. It takes a village, to and I'm just so honored to be receiving this award.
Well, that's cool. Did you? Who called you? Did Don Wilbanks call you to let you know, or?
It was Mark Abramovich,
Okay.
NT3V. I'll get the call right.
Excellent.
I was sitting on a roof deck in Provincetown, Massachusetts, at the end of Cape Cod,
Right.
looking out over the ocean, eating lunch, and my phone rang. Yeah. And
So you were in one of your favorite places in the world. I know you love Provincetown, and I understand that I've been there a few times, having grown up on the East Coast, and it's such a beautiful spot. So, that must have been really exciting to be out in your favorite place and to get that just amazing news. And I'm sure you realize there's always such great other young hams that are nominated. I think, you have to reach a certain level of experience both in your personal and in your ham life to even get nominated. So to get to this point of being nominated and then to actually win it, and knowing all the cool stuff that's going to happen, like all of a sudden you're going to have to make arrangements and get to Huntsville for the weekend, and and you're going to have some goodies. Like one of the things that that you win that you think is like super cool out of this?
Well, I don't think it's about what I win. I think it's an amazing experience, and I'm so deeply honored. And everything that comes with it, that's super cool as well.
But wait, hey, Marty, I think if I'm not mistaken here, and we've been following and webcasting the Young Ham of the Year for many years now, you win a trip to space camp. Are you going to be able to...
Not this year.
Oh, not this year? They're not giving it out this year? Okay. Well,
sorry, that's what I was leading into. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I didn't know that. I guess we'll learn, but it's still a great honor to be Young Ham of the Year. I don't see you, Marty. I don't see you as an astronaut anyway.
No, I like it's hard to put towers in space, and stacked monovans don't do well on the space station.
You'd probably be drilling holes through the space station to run coax out. That would not be good.
Yeah, that wouldn't work out too well.
So one of the things I think, a lot of people know some of the things that you've done. We know one of the things I think is really neat is you actually haven't been a ham for that terribly long. How old were you when you first got into ham radio?
Oh, that requires math. I think I want to say 12 or 12. Yes, I was 12. It was November of 2014, I believe. And right before the weekend before the CQ Worldwide CW contest, I got my technician license. So it'll be 3 years this coming November, in the early part of November. But it kind of took off from there. I wasn't really active on HF until late February of 2015, and that's when I got my general. And from there, I've been playing lots of radio.
Right.
I think you could say I'm addicted.
I think so. And there's not another ham in your family, is that correct?
No, there's not another ham. There's a lot of potential hams. My mom and sister are both very much interested, but I'm the only licensed ham.
So then, if you're and this is always a good question for somebody who is, doesn't come from a family of hams, is what sparked your interest at 12 years old? Did you see something, read something, watch something? What was it?
Well, actually, I found ham radio on the internet, but I'd like to say that I've always been a communicator for a long time. I talk a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It's such a surprise.
I'm shocked.
I know. And I've always been that kid, pulling extension cords around the house. No, Marty, you're not supposed to stick your fingers in a light bulb socket. Oh, Marty. But I've always been into electronics, and it just seemed like such a natural fit. So when I found out about ham radio, that it was a simple test, and studied online and took the test, and I didn't know any hams, but look, ham radio is such a great community. I've been able to meet so many fantastic people.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really lucky.
So you've gone from that in just 3 years' time. So now you are a regular at some contest stations. You found that contesting is one of the areas that you really enjoy. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think contesting is one of those things in ham radio where there's always something more. You're never a good enough contester.
Right.
That's what keeps me going back. You always need a bigger antenna. You always need more technique. Maybe that second radio wasn't working good on the next band. Maybe your score wasn't so good. Maybe your strategy was completely wrong. I know I've gone into contests where I thought I'd do great, and then I found out that conditions changed. I didn't have a strategy for it, and I was screwed.
Right.
But contesting is something that I'm certainly not great at, but I hope to get better in. I do have some plaques on the wall for it, so I'm not.
You do.
So I've been pretty lucky, but it's so fun. Contesting is certainly one of the areas of ham radio I enjoy a lot.
That's awesome. And then, one of the things I think that's really been great is that you've been very visible in the world of ham radio as a younger person being in radio, being on shows like Tom's show. You've been on, Ham Radio Now with Gary Pierce, and have you been on Ham Nation? I forgot. If not, you probably will be soon.
I've been on Ham Nation, and I will be on Ham Nation tomorrow night, actually.
Oh, great! So yeah, you're going to make the run around for the
doing the rounds.
That's right.
So.
Well, one of the things that I think has been really nice to see is that when you are on some of these shows and participate, you're part of the Phasing Line podcast with Sterling Coffee, and you guys are it's a very casual conversation between the two of you guys talking about ham radio stuff, which is what makes it enjoyable, and particularly since you guys are not old ham farts along the way. You're just, talking about what interests you, which I think is, which is really important. Is there another podcast? There's one that I think you were involved with Christopher also, right?
Yeah, we started a few things. They didn't work out.
Okay.
But I've always been somebody, I think since when I first got into ham radio, for the majority of my journey, I've been documenting it. So I think it's super cool for me. I can see, what I've done. And it's kind of like I can't write, so I can't write a journal, but I can post my message somewhere else. Maybe it's photos on Facebook or my podcast where I talk about what's going on in my ham radio life. So I can share my story, and maybe other people will share their stories.
Hey, there's a question in the chat room. When will you be on the Tonight Show?
Well, hopefully not in handcuffs.
I don't think they had that for years. I'm going to tell Bill that I don't think that show's been around for a long time. Hey, Marty. I'm going to whisper this to you, but hey, tomorrow night when you're on Ham Nation, I give you $5 if you say you were on Amateur Radio Roundtable last night.
That's right.
I give it to you.
$5 also.
I give that to you. I give that to you down in
Well,
Huntsville.
I appreciate everything you have done for me, Tom and Katie, because it's been a lot of fun to be on this show with you.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. No, I'm just kidding with you there.
Yeah.
Hey, I've known Marty quite a number of years now. I guess maybe 3 years, probably. I guess that's a lot of years in your lifetime. That's a lot of years in your lifetime. And Marty, you've done more in 3 years than many hams have done in 30 years.
Right. I think that's probably why they chose him for the award this year. And in such a short period of time, you've done a lot of things and represent ham radio in a good light. 99% of the time. And I can't give you 100% of the time.
Right. You can't give me full credit,
That's right. You got to have room to grow.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I've been so honored and so fortunate, and I just couldn't have gotten to this level, I guess. I'm not that great at it. I mean, I think I got lucky. I certainly appreciate Joe Eisenberg, K0NEB. He shows up here occasionally, who nominated me. But it's everybody who's helped me learn something in ham radio. How to solder a PL259, hanging antennas on towers, SO2R, contesting, wiring stations. All these things are things that you can read in a text, but you really just have to have someone show you how to do it. And I've been really, really lucky with that.
Well, that's exciting, and I'm sorry that I won't be in Huntsville this weekend because I love the Ham Fest, and sorry I won't be able to see you get your award in person, but I sure will be watching on KUB so we can keep track of it and cheer you on remotely. And
yeah, thanks to Tom. Without Tom, nothing would be documented as well. So super.
Great. Yeah, so that'll be great. Well, we sure appreciate you coming on tonight to share the excitement, and we'll all be watching this weekend to see you win the big award, and we'll check you out on Ham Nation tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Huntsville, and I want to see everybody. If you watch KUB, I watch Amateur Radio now, Roundtable every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, of course. I'd love to meet you. I think I'll be around the Hamfest, walking around on Saturday. Won't be there on Sunday, but come say hi. I want to take a selfie with you.
Yeah, we'll have Marty in our booth, and he can sign autographs.
No, I think I want
There you go.
I want your autograph, Tom. Actually.
Come on. Hi.
I want, I want Tom
Marty.
and Katie and Dwayne. We can
Yeah.
make a little book.
We'll see you here in just a few days.
Yeah, we will. I'm so honored, and thank you so much for having me on, Tom. I really appreciate it. Great to be here.
All right, thank you. Anything else there, Katie, with your guest tonight? Oh, what else, Marty?
What do you got there, Marty?
Jill said, "What time are the awards? The award ceremony on Saturday? 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, and you can see that right here, w5kub.com. Tom will be streaming it live.
That's right. We will be streaming it live, and it will be recorded for people to see from now on.
Yay!
All right.
Thanks, Marty.
Thanks, Marty.
Thank you, Katie.
you.
Thank you, Tom. I'll see you guys soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Congratulations.
Bye bye.
All right. That was cool. Cool interview there with Marty. Marty's been on the show a number of times here. He was kind of regular for a while, but it's hard to catch Marty. He is so busy with his school and everything he's doing. It's hard to get him on here. We were trying to get him on as a regular, but he's going to have to, I don't know, maybe graduate from college first.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing I should have mentioned too is there was a couple times this summer when you had your issues out there in Tennessee with your internet, and he actually was able to quickly at the last minute take over running the show from up in Massachusetts, or provide the, I don't know what the technical term is when he was able to loop it through.
Yeah,
YouTube?
he hosted the entire show out of
Right.
his studio up in Massachusetts, and even brought in remote guests. And at the same time, put our audio on WBCQ shortwave station. So he did it all up there. He knew how to do it, and it was just common for him to do it.
Yeah, that's great. He definitely has that. As he said, when he was a kid, used to pull things apart, and I know this guy over here was the same way as a kid.
Yeah.
Future engineers of America. Any parents out there with kids that are pulling their electronics apart, don't dissuade them. Let them keep at it, because those are our future engineers that we need.
Well, hey, speaking of that guy over there,
Yeah.
I think you
lost
put up
my
a new
phone.
beam. Does the new beam belong to Dwayne, or does it belong to you?
Well,
How does that work?
Well, we picked it up together when we went to get it. Darn it! Sorry, I'm having technical wardrobe malfunction here. Let me get my ears back together. No, it belongs to everything in the shack. We're an equal opportunity ham household here, so we do share. But he does all the heavy lifting, that's for sure.
Oh, that's cool. So, hey, tell us about what you guys have been working on this antenna for a while, and I guess you got it finished. Hopefully, you got some nice pictures, and talk to us about it. What's going on there?
All right. Well, let's see. Well, first of all, I think you guys would have hopefully saw this past fall when we put the 100-foot tower up. And the plan always was, we bought, how many years ago? We bought, like 3 or 4 years ago, we bought this 20-meter 4-element beam from a ham over in South Dakota.
Yeah, we got this one from a ham in South Dakota. We also have another one from a local ham. So we have two 204 BAs. We're going to stack them. Before we're done, we'll have one at 106 feet and one at 80 feet.
Wow.
So yeah, that big one was built and set out on the yard, and the first time we tried to put it on top of the tower, it got too windy. So we had to cancel plans for that. And then the second time we tried to do it a month or so ago, I got sick and spent the weekend in the hospital, which I think I told everybody about on my Facebook Live. And that's why I wasn't here for a couple of weeks, because I was still kind of recuperating and not feeling well, but finally getting back to myself again. And so Bill, N7QAX, I know Bill's here in the show. He's in the chat room watching. He said, well, how about August 12th? So we're like, sounds good. So we put it on the calendar and prayed that the weather would behave, and thankfully it seemed to have. And so we made that our date to put the antenna on top of the tower. And let me get the
Hey, while you're pulling it up, let me say something. I need to clarify something from last week, and I was kidding, but I think maybe a lot of people might not have known I was kidding. We were talking about a storm in the area, and I said, well, if the lightning is only 1 to 2 miles away, I wouldn't worry about it, climb that 100-foot tower. I think maybe some people thought that maybe I thought that was okay, and that's really not okay. I just wanted to get the record straight there.
Well, hopefully they realized you were joking by then.
Well,
but...
yeah.
All right, so here we go. I'm getting ready to show the picture, so let me get everything ready here.
That's a pretty good sized beam.
Oh,
It's a monster. It's like 36 feet long, and the elements are 38 feet.
Yeah.
So,
So this was at about 6:30 in the morning. I actually woke up and Dwayne was already outside working on getting things together. And actually, he had the coax, and it looks like you had your antenna analyzer there.
yeah, just checking the length. But it didn't look right sitting on the ground as far as length goes. So I decided I would double check before we put it at 100 feet. And it's a good thing because we found out that we had element 1, which is the driven element. It was the right one, but we had elements 2 and 4, one from one side, one from the other. So it didn't look right, and you could see that. And so we got out, started measuring. Dan, our neighbor, came over, and we started getting busy with the screwdrivers till we got it set up right.
All right, well, that's coming up next. Well, actually, while he was doing that, I ran over to our friend Dan N7WIO's house to borrow his Jeep because he has a winch on the front of it. And along the way, this doe and her twins were hanging out, so I, of course, had to stop and take a quick photo of them. So this is just nature here in Wyoming, so I just kind of threw that one in there for a little bit of fun. And okay, so yeah, then I came back, and by about 8 o'clock, oh, and Arnie's asking about the beam. It's a high gain Cushcraft? High gain
204BA.
204BA. So, okay, so here's our neighbor Dan Holso, who has been with us on every one of our antenna projects. He gives up a whole bunch of time and energy, and is always here to help. And I think, and he ends up actually being the ground support that ends up solving a lot of problems. He's got such a great mind for a lot of these things, and we're going to do our best to finally turn him into a ham, not just a helper. And so this was getting things up and running while we waited for Bill to arrive. I thought I had to take a picture that we actually did have things somewhat organized and ready to go, just for a little bit of fun. But the bucket over here on the right with the handle is the one that always goes up to the top of the tower with Dwayne with all of his tools. So getting everything organized and ready, and for once we actually were able to send everything up at one time. A lot of times I end up having to send up a wrench by itself or different things, but it's always good to get yourself organized before climbing up 100 feet up the tower. So we were just about getting ready to go, and Dwayne had everything hooked up, so I was just trying to get a couple of closer up shots for everybody. And feel free to pipe in when you want to add anything. So here is the Jeep in my mom's front yard, and here's the winch on the very front of it, as you could see. So the idea was we were using that to be our counter lift to get that antenna up to the top. Well, as things always happen to go, it never fails, but there was Dwayne getting everything straightened up and ready to go, and Bill N7QX is getting his climbing gear out of the truck, and Dan was in the truck trying to figure things out, and we started moving things along, but then the battery died. So Katie had to come get her car, and we had to jump the Jeep to get it running. So Dan, of course, is being silly goofball and having a little fun. Yeah, we could use an elevator up there, Andy. I'm seeing some comments in there. So after we jump started the Jeep, we got back to business and started up again. But those are the things that happens. I don't think any antenna projects ever happen the way you plan on them. No. Dwayne's just shaking his head at me. Yeah, those are beehives in the back, although we don't have any this year. Okay, so time to get going, and there's Dwayne starting to climb up actually, he's a good way up the tower, almost to the top at that point.
And right now I'm going up with the mast. See, the center mast is coming up right in front of me there as they're pulling it up. I'm making sure that it doesn't hang up on anything as it goes up through the center of the tower. Right,
and hopefully if you can see that, it's right here in between them. So that was one of the things that we had to redo, the what do you call those?
Bearing plates.
The bearing plates. We had to make the holes a little bit bigger. But so Dwayne as that was being pulled up, Dwayne was kind of climbing along with it and tracking his progress and helping it along. And then once he was up there and situated, we had to send the bucket of tools up. So there's Bill helping guide it up to get it around some of the guy wires and then the other antennas that we had to drop. So there's a lot of there was a lot of prep work just to even get to where we could even consider sending the antenna up. There's me with Bill. My mom took this picture over at WI7MOM. She was in her front yard, and you might notice I'm wearing my hoodie. And I had full-length jeans on. It was cold that morning, and I thought, for the middle of August, this is not really nice weather. We've got a question from Arnie asking if we're free from HOAs and CCRs, and yes, we are.
So hey, did your mom ever complain to you that thing might fall on her house?
Once.
Well, yeah.
Once. And I explained to her that when towers crumble, 90% of the time they crumble in the middle and they fold almost straight down.
Right.
It's amazing to watch them fall.
So yeah, we're safe there, but we live out in the unincorporated county, so there's actually no rules where we live, believe it or not, which is one of the things we like living about in Wyoming. Yeah. One of the great things about Wyoming.
I've been a ham for 28 years now, and I will never buy a piece of property that says I can't put an antenna up.
Yeah.
So that'll never happen to me. I promise you.
All right, so moving right along, Bill's all geared up. He's got his climbing gear on. He's got a much nicer, but he does this for work sometimes, so he's got the great setup that even has like a little seat on it, so definitely keeps it more comfortable for a long time. When, like Saturday, when they were up there for a good
3 hours.
3 hours, it seemed like 5, but that was probably just part of the day. So there goes, I was sitting on the deck, and there goes Bill starting the climb up there, and heading on up the tower, and there's Peekaboo. She was watching what was happening up on the tower. I just happened to catch a good time with that.
Someone just asked, how did we get that around the guys? Hopefully she's got some pictures.
I do.
If she doesn't, I will explain it when we get there.
Yep. All right. So that was just kind of, got to insert, a cat picture in there periodically for you. All right. So Dan was guarding the winch as things were going along and just kind of being a ham as usual. And if you notice, Bill has a really cool truck, and he's got his call sign right here on the side, so nobody ever can miss who he is as he's cruising along. But just some little fun photos. So now Dwayne's up at the top of the tower, way at the top, standing on the top thing, getting the last of that mast has gone through there. I don't know that it was fully up at that point. How far does it stick up total?
When we're done, we still have one more antenna to put up, but the big one is up. When we're done, that'll stick 16 feet above the tower.
All right. So, all right. And then, okay, so I'll let you explain what you're doing there.
There's a truss plate at the top of that so that you can truss the ends of the tower, the antenna up. It's long enough that you need to support the ends. So it has a little truss plate that goes on there. And also that truss plate is where we'll mount the pulley when we go to pull the tower, or pull the antenna up. It mounts right on that truss plate.
Okay. And see, guys, this is why I wanted Dwayne to be on the show with me, so he could explain all this stuff for you. This is just another shot from a little further back just to give a little perspective and all the wires, and kind of a neat shot. And then Bill finally got up towards the top and, of course, shouted, "Look, Ma, no hands." I think that's what he said while he was up there.
Exactly what he said.
Yeah. And I have a photo at the end from Bill. And then that he did a little Facebook Live while he was on the top. And I shared that on my Facebook page. But in the meantime, so now what's happening at the tower is?
Okay, we're getting ready to lift the antenna. And if you will notice that right here, just as I said, we mounted the pulley to the truss plate. So it's up at the very top, and that's about 6 feet above the tower now.
Okay. All right, so now here we go. This is the beginnings of trying to get that antenna up to the ground. Well, actually, it's a little past the beginnings, but I kind of had to work with what I was able to do between helping and trying to take photos, and what my mom had for some photos. And this, well, I'll go fairly through these because there isn't a lot to say about each one, but they're kind of in succession of as things were working their way up. And don't mind that some of these are a little crooked. It just happened to be the way Mom was standing, or trying to get everything into the photo. But it's really more just for you to get the perspective of what was happening. And so you can see Dwayne and Bill way at the top there, and it looks like the antenna is about halfway up there. And Dan's over helping out at the winch. We were having some problems, but he, of course, was just goofing around for that photo, but I thought it was kind of fun. And the mom got that one. And I think this is when it was coming back down again.
Yeah, we got it up about 3/4 of the way up, and they didn't have the tram line tight enough. What we did is this tram line right here is tied to a tree or hooked around a tree, and the idea is to keep the antenna floating out away from the tower until you get to the top. Well, they didn't have the tram line tight enough, and once you get where you're about this point, if you don't have it tight enough, you got to go down and get it snugged up again. So we had to lower it back down and then snug this up tighter. The idea is to get it to float up at an angle so it goes above all the guy lines and right up to us.
Right. Let me, I'm not sure which one that was, but
it's going up pretty good now.
All right, so that must be a little bit later on, but yeah, I had Facebook Live going for some of it as it was going up, and then I needed to run and do something else, and Mom took over the video for a little bit, and there was a bit of swearing going on, and and Rhea N2RJ pointed out in one of the comments, she says there's always some of those you know what moments during antenna raising, but I think this is when it was coming back down again. I'm not even sure, but it was really sketchy for a little while, and because I couldn't see what was happening, I was getting a lot of comments on Facebook. People were making sure we were okay, and as Marty mentioned, and Dwayne and Jim Idelson was sending us a message, and Chip Margelli about, you guys should look at using a tram method to get that up there, and I can't say I disagree with that, but is that going up correctly at that point? All right, so at this point in time, we're about to rotate it. So we finally got everything organized right. Dan figured out a better way to tie the wire, or excuse me, the rope on to get it up to the top of the tower. And that really seemed to make the difference. Once we got it, that guide rope in the right place, but as Dwayne mentioned, we had the rope around the tree, my poor little spruce tree, and then holding onto the rope, and Dan's holding it, and he was really taking a good brunt of it, just trying to help keep things steady as it was getting up there. And Melissa, Dan's wife, she was running the winch. So, you have the guys up at 100 feet yelling down to her. Well, she can't hear because of the winch making the noise. So then my mom's in the middle trying to use hand signals, but Melissa's trying to keep an eye on the winch because it kept kind of getting caught up on itself. And so then Dan's whistling at the top of his lungs. I mean, it was like a 3-ring circus during parts of it, just to kind of make sure everything happens. And of course, a winch doesn't stop immediately when you press or when you stop pushing it one direction or the other. So there was always a little bit of a hiccup as it would run or stop, and so it was a bit nerve-wracking, but it finally got up there and we all breathed a sigh of relief. And at this point, it looks like they were just about getting it balanced and set there. You can almost see the yellow of Bill's shirt right there. And at this point, once it got up there, what did you have to do, Dwayne?
Well, the first thing you got to do is get it attached to the mast work.
Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button.
So we had to attach that to the mast. We had to attach the boom there. Once you get it attached, you do it loosely. Then you set the boom to the right height and tighten up the guy lines or the truss lines. Get them to where it starts to snug up the antenna, and then you tighten everything in place, pointing the direction you want it to point, because the rotator is eventually going to have to pick this up, and it has to be pointed correctly. So we had to get all that in place and start it up. Eventually, I'll have to stand on the very top of the tower and work some of the truss work, and there may be a picture of that.
I think I got it, but this was actually, I took a screenshot of Bill's video from the top of the tower, and so looking down into the neighborhood. So actually, here's Mom and Melissa standing over here. Here's that Jeep with the winch on it, and just to kind of give you a little bit of perspective. But that was kind of fun to see that. And Peekaboo was helping. Sorry, had to throw another cat photo in there just for entertainment's sake, and she was helping with the rope along the way. And so now
I don't know where that picture.
I think that one's out of order. Sorry, but that was when it was going up or down. Not sure.
More out of order.
Yeah, more out of order, but that's me.
There. Now
There we go.
back in order.
Back where we need to be. So it looks like everything's getting finishing being put in place. And let's see. Yeah, just another shot looking up at it. And I think,
Same one you had before.
yeah, probably so. And I think that's my last photo. It is. So let me stop. Well, is there anything else you want to mention about that before I turn off the photo?
No, but the people that are asking, yeah, all the guy lines that are in there have to stay in place, but the antennas, we dropped every wire antenna on this end so that we could work with it.
Yeah.
And it was a good day. Once you get that thing up and you can see it, from the road, which is about 2 miles away, it's really nice to look up and see your tower.
Yeah, it does. It's funny. I thought the tower looked big all by itself, but believe it or not, actually putting the antenna on the top, it doesn't look as big anymore, but it definitely looks like it should now that there's an antenna on the top, and it's kind of neat leaving the neighborhood and looking back and seeing it, I have to say.
So Dwayne,
next
something always causes trouble when you do that, doesn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Next
I
one's going up is the XM 240, so we're going to
Yeah.
put a 2-element 40-meter beam under that one, mounted at a 90-degree angle, so they won't interfere with each other.
I put up a Tribender many years ago. I put up a Tribender. I only had 80 feet of tower up, and they pulled it up to me. And this Tribender, the elements kept wanting to go vertical, instead of laying flat. And I'm trying to hold it with one hand horizontal to get the U-bolts in. And, I think I had the bolts in my mouth, one hand trying to, hold it, one hand trying to put them on, It was pretty tough.
Well, High Gain has a really nice mounting system for mounting that to a mast. It's 2 great big aluminum blocks that are machined out with teeth in them, and it takes 6 bolts, so there are no U-bolts to deal with. And it has 2 very long bolts that you can put on to start with, where it doesn't have to be lined up at all.
Yeah.
You can get those 2 long bolts in, and then you cinch those up. And as you saw in the earlier pictures, I have learned that a rechargeable drill or a rechargeable impact wrench is an invaluable tool on the tower.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no way you can put a dollar amount to how well that helps you. But you can get that up there, and when you get it snugged up, you can start snugging up on those 2 bolts. And when you get it to where it starts to tighten up, it'll straighten the antenna out. Then you can tighten the other 4 bolts up, and it goes pretty good. It's not nearly as rough to fight with as U-bolts are. So I will probably be putting that on every one of my antennas now.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people asked both on Facebook and probably in the chat room while we were talking if it's hooked up yet. No, it's not hooked up yet. It's just sitting up there. But the big thing was we needed to get it out of the yard and get it up on the tower. And so that was the big step. And now it's up there. And I don't think there's any more antenna work planned for over a month at the moment. We've got some other things that have to be taken care of, and we have a vacation coming up, so we'll be out of town for a little bit. And so for now, it's just up there and it's stabilized. And I don't know when you're going to plan on hooking it all up because he's got to climb up and do some more work. But
What's that beam weigh, Dwayne? What's the weight of that beam? Do you know?
It's probably, I can lift it, so it's somewhere between 70 and 100 pounds. I don't know the exact number.
That's pretty heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. It is, but again, thanks to Bill Torrance, N7QAX, who's been there for each step of our tower raising and antenna raising, and our neighbors Dan and Melissa Holso have been here helping, and of course Mom WY7MOM, who's there for moral support. She's held the rope along the way and makes really yummy Rice Krispie treats for us to eat. So it's definitely a group effort, and Tom W7ETR has been here for a lot of the events as well. He wasn't here for this one, but anytime he can help, he usually is here. And
Lauren's been over.
And
too.
yeah, Lauren.
WI7L.
Yeah, he just changed his call sign recently. I forgot it, but yeah. So we really appreciate. We have such a nice community of hams up here in Northeast Wyoming. There's not a lot of us, but we try to help each other out when we can. And so looking forward to the next thing, but. Hopefully everybody got a nice little idea of what we did. And if you follow me on Facebook, if you just look for WI7YL, there are some videos that I did Facebook Live. You can go watch some of it and see what happened. And including that video that Bill took is on my page as well. So he did some neat video from the top of the tower. It was kind of fun. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And And I think that's about it for that part, Tom.
Cool.
Yeah, I want to throw in a
Oh.
throw in a plug for
Okay.
N7WYO.
Oh, yeah.
He's loaned us quite a bit of heavy lifting gear, the winches, the Jeep,
Yep.
and some moral support along the way. So thanks to Dan for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, great. Well, hey, Dwayne and Katie, thank you so much for that interesting look at raising the beam tonight.
Oh, you were very welcome. It was fun. It's always fun to talk about projects, and it was fun that we actually had something to talk about for a change. And I look forward to seeing everybody, via the show down in Huntsville. And I hope you have a safe trip down. And we'll see you in the chat room.
All right. See you guys later. Have a nice time up here. Sorry we're going to miss you next weekend, but we'll see you somewhere soon.
Sounds good. 73,
All right.
everybody.
All right.
73.
Goodbye. All right. All right. So let's see what we've got next on the thing here. Stand by, and I'm going to get Dave Kassler on here with us. Dave will be right with us in just a second. I'll be right back with you. Heard it, worked it, and logged it. Contest season is here. Icon's high performance and innovative transceivers will help you make the most out of the contest season. Continue your contesting momentum with the IC7300. Ideal for the ham on the go, it's a high performance HF transceiver with a compact design. It has RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters,
stand by just a
a
second.
large 4.3 inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and an SD card memory slot. The IC7851 will give you the competitive edge you've been looking for. Raise the bar and hear what others cannot hear with this HF through 50 megahertz transceiver. It has reciprocal mixing dynamic range, a crystal clear local oscillator, spectrum scope, dual receivers, digital voice recorder. Don't forget about the IC7700 and the IC7600. Both of these are top-of-the-line transceivers and are still available and are sure to be the perfect companion this contesting season. Visit www.icomamerica.com for more information on ICOM radios. All right, let me put out a couple of quick announcements real quick. It's kind of mid-show right now, and I just want to say welcome to any of our listeners that might have tuned in on shortwave tonight, WBCQ up in Monticello. In fact, I'm not even sure I turned the audio on to the show tonight. I may have forgot to do that. So, hey, that may be my problem. But anyway, and if you're new to our webcast here, please join us every Tuesday at 8 o'clock Central Time. And let's see, I've got Dave on here with me. Let's see, Dave. There you are. How you doing tonight, Dave?
I'm doing great, and I sure enjoyed that last segment on the antenna. And I know they have a lot of wind to deal with in Wyoming, and just that's why so much guying for the tower, I guess. That was quite impressive.
Yeah, and boy, I mean that's a lot of work, and you know, Dave, I used to have a tower and a beam, and I had it for many years, and finally after we moved, I just didn't put the tower back up. I'd lay in bed at night, and boy, the wind would be blowing in the winter, and I'd hear the cables going clang, clang, clang against it, and I didn't know how long it's going to stay up. And then in the summertime, it'd get hit by lightning, I think 3 times, and oh man, so. I'm happy with my my wire antennas, but I have no contest station,
I've been tempted to look at a beam here. I got this antenna to look at from MFJ, a collinear for 20 meters, which actually is a gain antenna, and I was pretty impressed by its performance. And I thought to myself, well, shoot, it's only 3 dB. It's half an S unit better, although it seemed like more than that. But, I wonder how much more I could get with a beam. Oh, and I wanted to say to Marty, I don't know if he's still listening there, but just say how impressed I am and what a great young man he is. And I remember the evening that he ran the show. He showed himself at such a young age to be an outstanding interviewer, knew just what questions to ask to keep the conversation going, and quite an impressive young man.
Well, don't let Marty fool you. He's a 30-year-old in a 15-year-old body. Hey, Marty gets his driver's permit here in a couple months, I think.
Oh, that's frightening.
You know, we may not have him on the show anymore on Tuesday nights. He's going to be out cruising to town.
You know, when my son got his driving permit, I let him drive home from church, and he had to make a left-hand turn. And he turned the steering wheel a little bit, and it was nowhere near enough. I had to reach over and turn it the rest of the way so he wouldn't hit the curb.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, I guess there's some finesse to this after all."
Huh. Oh, wow. Hey, you know, let's do this. Let's talk a little about, I think I've got a video here that you did, and I want to talk about waterfall because
Sure.
I played with some of the little cheap SDR radios a few years ago, but I wasn't really happy with them. And I think I'm going to buy me one of those little SDR plays from, I think, HRO is selling them. I missed getting one at at Dayton, because they were sold out. So I'm going to pick up one at Huntsville this year. And, you know, it's just neat, really neat the way these things can tune such a wide band. And I like the Spectrum scope and the waterfall. And, of course, all my 50-something years of ham radio, I've never had a Spectrum scope until this year. And I've got a new radio with a Spectrum scope and a waterfall in there. And I don't use the waterfall that much. It's turned off, but I use the Spectrum scope. But let's talk about the waterfall a little bit and what it can show us, and you know, what we can learn from it. And I think this is going to go in well with the upcoming Huntsville Hamfest, and also the show next Tuesday night. I think next Tuesday night we're going to have an SDR expert on, hopefully, that's going to talk about SDR, so he's probably going to get into some of this. HR Ham Radio Deluxe is giving away 2 prizes at Huntsville this year on our show, and I think you mentioned them in your video, their waterfall in their HRO video.
Yeah.
So let's do this, Dave. Let me put your video on real quick. It's going to be about 6 or 7 minutes, and then we're going to come back and we'll talk about it just a little bit. Okay?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So let me find it. All right, here we go.
I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, with episode 21 of Ask Dave. I'm here to answer your questions about ham radio, with particular emphasis on those of interest to those new to the hobby. Today's video is based on a question from Andrew, N6REW, who asks about waterfall displays and how they're used. Andrew, thanks for your question. First, let's look at something more basic, the real-time spectrum. We've talked in many videos about looking at radio signals in the frequency domain. We represent lower frequencies on the left-hand side and higher frequencies on the right-hand side. For example, you can represent the entire 20-meter ham band as going from 14.0 to 14.350 megahertz. A given upper sideband signal uses about 3 kilohertz of bandwidth. So if there were a signal at 14.290 megahertz, the spectrum at any given instant might look something like this. Well, we're interested in more than just a snapshot. The world doesn't stand still, so let's see what would happen in real time. What we're looking at here is a spectral representation of part of the 20-meter phone band using the same convention as in the diagram, except that it's changing in real time, in fact, with every syllable spoken. Well, I'll say this, the band is certainly restless. Let's look at this a different way. Instead of representing higher signal strength with a graph, let's represent it as a bright spot on a line. See, down here at the bottom? So let's look at this conceptually. Let's say our spectrum snapshot looks like this. So we'll translate that into a line that has a bright spot here and here. We're going to make a conceptual leap, motivated by looking at a waterfall, in this case one in Yankee Boy Basin. Note something. What appears in real time is the water at the top of the waterfall. Let's imagine a rubber ducky coming over the falls. It will fall down and with time float away out the bottom of the picture. Okay, let's send several rubber ducks over the top of the waterfall, each in turn. You'll see a stream of rubber ducks coming over the waterfall. The first will be toward the bottom of the picture, and the newest at the top. Can we do this with our spectrum display? You bet we can. Okay, so the new lines are created at the top and then fall down. Real time is at the top, and you see it go over what looks for all the world like a waterfall. So, the further down you go, the further back in history you're looking. So, if a spectrum scope is useful for knowing what's happening on the band right now, this instant, what additional information does the waterfall tell us? Well, let's look at it. This spectrum is created by an inexpensive software-defined radio called the Fifi SDR. It's available for less than $150. The software is SDR Console version 2.2. The spectrum is about 50 kilohertz wide. We can see multiple SSB stations. Note that the spectrum scope is real time. But if we miss a blip, the history shows us where conversations have been taking place, and there's a good chance there might be more as time goes by. Furthermore, sometimes you can pick things off the waterfall that don't show up much on the spectrum scope. Obviously, such a display is of great use. Here's an example of picking up a DX station, OK2RZ, rather weak but perfectly readable. Let's listen.
And overtime. Thanks for the contact on First Virginia. KD also hosting Papa. Austin Kilowatt 2, Radio Vanderbilt, 73, good evening.
Now this is nice, and higher-end radios have real-time spectrum scopes. My Yaesu FTDX 3000 is one such radio. A firmware modification issued last year upgrades the spectrum display to also include a waterfall display, which can be very handy to find band activity. Yaesu uses a different convention in that strong signals are represented as dark lines instead of bright lines. We're looking here at the entire 20-meter phone band, and it's easy to spot where things are happening. Here's an example of a waterfall that illustrates all we've discussed. This is from the popular JT65 program called WSJT-X. You see across the top the frequency relative to the frequency on the radio, in this case 14.076 megahertz. So 1000 here is 1000 hertz higher than 14.076 megahertz, or 14.077 megahertz. And you see the signals falling down the waterfall. One nice feature of the WSJT-X waterfall is that the time appears over here on the left. So you see the older data at the bottom. After about 3 minutes, the data disappears from the waterfall scope. Down at the bottom here is the spectrum scope, which can be correlated to the data just appearing at the top of the waterfall. The real usefulness of the waterfall display is for digital modes. Let's take as an example the popular Ham Radio Deluxe application called Digital Master 780. The software dispenses with the spectrogram and just uses the waterfall. Again, what's toward the bottom is the old stuff. You can watch as the new stuff at the top rolls down the screen. In fact, if you click on a signal that has already finished transmitting, HRD remembers history and can tell you what was transmitted. Also, with the waterfall, it's exceptionally easy to find signals. You just click on them to see what's being transmitted. Note that other popular digital programs such as Digipan and FLDigi also offer waterfalls. This video simply introduces the idea of the waterfall display and shows how useful it can be. You can use them right now to great advantage for HF Digital. And if you have a radio with a spectrum scope, it may also have the waterfall option. This little Fifi SDR software-defined radio, cute isn't it, is what drives the SSB displays I've shown you. All
right, well look, we're back with Dave. And Dave, that was an interesting segment because I really don't know what a waterfall does, man. I mean, I got one on my radio now, and you've got one. How do you use yours?
Well, I'm going to share a screen with you. Let's see. We hit the plus sign.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share a screen. And it's going to be this screen. Okay. I guess you're looking at my upper screen. This is FLDigi, and I've got it tuned to 20 meter PSK31 band. And what you're seeing down here on the waterfall, what's up at the top is what's happening this instant. And what's down here is obviously what used to happen. So go, oh, somebody just came on right there. And it was a CQ. The system remembers that for a little while. So this is how you actually find signals, is you look at them on the waterfall, and you can tell if it's a signal or not. Like there is actually a signal right there, but it's just a little too weak to do anything with.
Yeah.
This signal is fading in and out, probably because the signal only a few hertz away is pretty strong. But you can read up here what's going on. They're in Tennessee. I'm in Colorado. Here comes something strong, maybe back to the guy's CQ. Yeah, look at that. So I use the waterfall to look at what has just happened on the band and what happened a little bit before. And if I'm seeing some activity, like for example, if I'm using this on single sideband and I see something happening, it might be a weak signal followed by what looks like a whole bunch of people on it. I go, okay, that's a pileup. Dive in and see what's going on. And it's just, to me, a far easier way than looking at a spectrum scope, which tells you what's happening right now, but you can't correlate it with what just happened. Whereas with the waterfall like this, you can.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, stop sharing. Okay.
Well, I have my waterfall turned off right now. I'm using mostly the spectrum scope, but as I learn a little more about it, I may turn it back on so I can watch it.
Yeah, and on my FTDX 3000, I have both. Above the line is the spectrum, and below the line is the waterfall. And if something pops up really large on the spectrum scope, then you can look at the waterfall and see, is that guy just testing, or was he actually saying something? And it's interesting, you can look at it, because when you see these ionospheric sounders and they kind of blew up through the band, you can actually see them across many, many kilohertz on the waterfall.
Well, and I guess if somebody's got a really lousy splattering signal, you'll see that too.
Absolutely, you will. On PSK31, you'll see lines out here to the side. And if that signal, they're way over driving their rig and it's gone non-linear. You don't see that so much anymore. I think people are getting much better at PSK31. A lot of the activity has moved to JT65, and now you see just huge amounts of activity there, most of it 20 meters. And there's a new mode out now that's out in beta that comes from Joe Taylor and the people who work with him. That's supposed to be much faster than JT65. And considering that a JT65 QSO takes about 7 minutes to go through the whole thing. This thing's 4 times faster, so in a couple minutes you've got your QSO with just as much sensitivity and, put another one in the logbook. It's really cool.
That's cool. Well, like I mentioned, we have scheduled HRO to be on here. They've got some conflicts, couldn't make it tonight. But
HRO or HRD?
HRD, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And hopefully in a few weeks we'll have HRD on here to talk about it, because I know that package, that software HRD has a lot of stuff in it.
Yes.
I think I even used that to do a rig control of my TS2000 a while back.
It'll do
And
that.
boy, it does all that, plus it does that digital stuff, and just all the things you just showed. So it'd be interesting to have them on and talk about that. And then probably next week, I'm trying to line up a guy from the Northeast who is very skilled and pretty much an expert with the SDR receivers out there, the SDR Play and some of the others. And he actually goes around giving presentations to ham clubs about the SDR and SDR Play and those things. So I think it'd be really interesting, especially if I can get one this weekend. Having him come on is going to stir a little interest up for me to see what I can make it do.
Well, there's several different key approaches to SDR. The most current one is what's in the ICOM 7300, where basically the analog front end is just there enough to kind of clean up the signal a titch and then convert it to digital. And then all the stuff that we think of as like, heterodyning down to an IF and doing your IF filtering and your demodulation and so on is done entirely differently when it's done in digital using different algorithms that I studied a little bit from my master's program, and I'm going, wow, the sky's the limit on what these things can do.
All right, well, Dave, we're going to run on to our next segment here. It's a little after 9 o'clock here, and we're going to talk about Huntsville Hamfest coming up this weekend. That's always an exciting show for us. We always have fun there, and it's the world's friendliest Hamfest. So we're going to be going there for our next segment. So thanks a lot, Dave, for coming in and talking about waterfalls tonight, and maybe we'll get into them a little deeper on another night.
All right. I wish I could see you there, but I'll be here in Colorado.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, 73.
Okay. Well, that was Dave Kassler. And oh, by the way, if you want to watch any of Dave's videos, he's got hundreds of videos out there from ham radio courses to unpacking things to fixing things. Dave Kassler, just go to Dave Kassler at YouTube and do a search, and it'll show up there. I want to talk a little about Huntsville coming up here, because we've got some neat things coming up here at Huntsville, and let me do something here. I'm going to see if I can get our friend on. There we go. Nope. Let's see. Wrong thing ringing. Hey, let me check. Oh, here we go. Hey, how we doing, Jordan?
Yep, this is Jordan.
Hey, how you doing, Jordan?
I'm doing all right.
Good. You surprised us. You came in on not only on the computer here in the studio, but you also came in on my cell phone. Kathy was wondering what's going on.
Oh, okay.
But we got you. We got you here. Not a problem at all. Let me turn your gain up a little bit. Guys, I want to introduce to you Jordan, W4HBO. Jordan is a friend of ours we've known for quite a while at the Huntsville Hamfest. And we're going to talk a little about the Huntsville Hamfest tonight. Jordan basically is the prize guy. And if you watch any of our videos, you've seen him run back and forth to the prize barrel and back to the stage when they're giving all the prizes away. So that's Jordan. So Jordan, stand by just a second. Let me pull up a couple pictures. We're just going to jump into some pictures that I've got for Huntsville. And
All right.
Jordan, you're probably not. You may see this on the webcast if you got your audio turned down. That's where it needs to be. But anyway, hey, there's a great panoramic view of inside at the Von Braun Center. This has got to be one of the cleanest, nicest Hamfest I think I've ever been to. Air conditioned, great food. They take care of us with food there. This place is so large that you can drive your vehicles in and unload them at your booth. If you look at those lights, above, I'm guessing they're probably at least 30 feet, maybe 40 feet in the air. And there's catwalks up there that go all over this thing. And I've been up there. I think I've got a couple pictures here I took from the catwalks a few years ago. But this is a neat place. And Jordan, I'll let you chime in here. Just if you see something you want to yell at, Jordan, go ahead and yell. But I've got a couple pictures I'm going to ask you about specifically. But here's some of the crowd getting together, gathering up in front of the doors to get in before it opens. They always have great turnouts there, and here's a shot of us getting ready. They haven't let anyone in yet. You can see they've just opened the doors, and we're ready. But Jordan, when they open those doors, you got thousands of people coming in, right?
Yes, it's quite a bit, and they rush. Once the front doors open, they pile in and pile in.
Oh, they do. And I think, hey, I might hire you as our bodyguard this year because they come in through that door so fast there. We got to kind of be careful. Let's see. So there we are, kind of out. That's our mobile cart. We roll around and we're out in front of the door there, waiting on people to come in. They just opened the door. Here they come. You can see the picture's a little blurry. I shot this with a very fast shutter speed, but these people are moving so fast they're still blurry. And we've got all kinds of our friends are going to be there. They're there every year. Here's a picture of Ray Novak. He's usually there with ICOM every year, right across from our spot there. And we get to talk to ICOM and let you guys ask questions and get answers directly from ICOM. Now we're getting into Jordan's area here. Now Jordan, that's a picture of you, I think, but I got the back of your head. You're not seeing us, Jordan, but that's you spinning the barrel there, about to take some tickets out. So this was a barrel that you had a few years ago, but it had so many tickets in it. I think it broke. I think this is the one that broke, isn't it?
No, actually, we borrowed that one from the Shriner.
Oh, okay.
This was the year after.
That's the year after. Okay.
I decided to break the ticket barrel.
Yeah, because the one it broke had like an A-frame, like a metal stand on it or something, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the one you borrowed.
This is
the one you borrowed. But the funny thing about it, when that barrel broke and you just had too many tickets, it was funny that you guys had to put out trash cans here to put your tickets in. And if you notice,
we did.
The trash can on the left there says, put your ticket here. The trash can on the right says, put your trash here. And Kathy and I are sitting behind a table, and everybody's coming up to us because we're right there where you can see one of the ticket things behind here. And they're always asking Kathy. They were asking us, where do you put the ticket? Where do you put the ticket? And we would say, put it in that barrel right there. And they wouldn't do it. They thought it was the trash.
Yeah. The biggest issue we had was the barrel that we borrowed was too small, and we couldn't fit all the tickets in there, and we decided the best thing to do is get a garbage can and use it as the ticket barrel. The problem we kept running into, people would walk across in front of the stage, they go to throw their trash, they use the trash can, and was like, oh, there it goes.
Yeah, that reminds me. Kathy and I are going to send you guys a bill because we kept taking the Coca-Cola bottles and the Coke cans and the half-eaten donuts out of the ticket barrel there.
All right, I'll just give that to Dave.
Give that to Dave. Give that to Dave here. But yeah, people were throwing trash in the ticket bin, and then when that happens, people are looking in here and says, "I'm not throwing my ticket in here. That's the trash." Oh well.
Yep.
So that's just some of the fun things that happened here. Here's a picture of Charlie Emerson. Charlie was the president, I think, of the Huntsville Hamfest Association for a number of years. He was the voice of the Huntsville Hamfest, and probably most everyone knows that have been watching the show. Charlie passed away back last year, just a month or, well, I guess, was it like in around February or sometime? I don't remember the exact date.
It was January. That's when he passed.
Was it?
away.
Okay. He passed away back in January, and Dave Givens now is trying to take over, all the things that Charlie was doing too, because Charlie did a lot of things behind the scenes, and he just did them himself. So
he did.
Yeah. So I think it was a learning experience for you guys to try to figure out what Charlie did.
Yeah, and it's been a huge learning curve of what he did behind the scenes, and we didn't know about too much, but the way he did things, it always worked out.
Yeah. Well, that's what? You put Jordan on there? Jordan's on the phone. I don't have a picture of Jordan. My producer's asking why Jordan's picture's not up here. No, he's on the phone. He's on the phone.
Because I'm always on the stage.
Yeah. Okay, and here we are here with some of the youth. You guys have a big youth turnout for this Hamfest. This Hamfest is a very family-oriented Hamfest. A lot of youth are there, and here's some of the youth. In fact, they always have a scavenger hunt, and we're on their list. They have to come by and get our signature or something, or a check mark on their scavenger hunt that they do. So, big youth deal.
It is very big.
Yeah. Here we are. We're kind of, this is where Jordan's got us here. Jordan's usually down to the left of us there, up on the stage. We're right next to the stage here. It really gave us a nice little place here to set up, and we really appreciate that. And here we are here looking into our booth. This is probably a couple years old. Here's a shot from the backside. So you can see we have room back there. We got nice chairs. We're kind of out of the way, and we're not too awful crowded here.
You're actually having a really nice light up there.
Yeah, and it's just great. We thank you guys very much for that. Hey, here's you guys. You know who this is? Ray Novak. He slips in behind the into our booth every now and then, gets in our chat room and talks to some of his friends there in the chat room. But Ray is really good about answering all your questions that you might have about ICOM radios. And again, ICOM is just right across from our booth there. You guys may know this guy. This is Emmett Hohensee, W0QH. I think I got that right. Yeah. Emmett is the chief engineer for radio waves, and here he is last year, I think, showing us one of his antennas and how they hold it up in the air. We always have a little fun there. This is Richard Stubbs from MFJ, and we've got Emmett there and me. And this was, I think, 3 years ago. And we actually, during the Hamfest, guys, we actually cut an album there. And we put on a song. We did Soul Man. And there's, from left to right there, that's Joe Eisenberg on the guitar. There's Emmett Hohensee. There's Don Wilbanks back there in the green shirt. The guy with the little funny cap on and the saxophone, that's me. And then probably the guy that really has the energy is Richard Stubbs there on the right side. And we did Soul Man. And we actually did that before everybody left the building. So we actually had some people watching,
We had quite a crowd.
Yeah, we
on the stage right there, and it was a good entertainment.
Yeah, we had some people. Now, that was Soul Man. I think the year before, that was 2 years ago. I think the year before we did Bad to the Bone. Now, that was the one.
Yep, you did.
That was the one that the chat room comments were quite hilarious, and we'll show that video sometime. But we have all kinds of friends there that come to there. Here's Martin Jew. Martin's a very close friend of us, and he comes to Huntsville all the time there, and Martin is the founder of MFJ. That's where Martin F. Jew, what Martin F. Jew stands for, MFJ. So there's Martin, and boy, he'll talk and talk and talk about any of your questions. He'll answer your questions, and if you say to Martin, say, Martin, why don't you have a 6-meter version of this, because we need that? Martin will say, well, that's a good idea, and you'll watch. Martin will write that down on a piece of paper, and he'll put it in his pocket. And many of the ideas many of the things that they do is come from people asking for it. Here's Dennis Machenbacher. He is the vice president of Yaesu, and Yaesu has donated a handheld radio again this year for us. We're going to be giving out a Yaesu radio to some lucky viewer. You can see Gigaparts is right across from us there. And hey, I know this guy right here.
Understanding, Dennis will actually not be here this year.
Is that right? Dennis won't be there. Okay.
That's what I understand.
Okay, and that may be. I have communicated with Dennis in a couple emails, and there is a new person also I'm talking to. I'm sure he will be there. So, okay, well, Dennis won't be there, but we thank Dennis anyway for the prize, and we'll have them on when we give that Yaesu Handy Talkie out. We will have Yaesu over at the booth. And here we go. Look at this, guys. You guys might know who this is. This is Ron and Amy from Gold Medal Ideas, and they always donate some hats, some ham hats, and they handle. They go to a lot of ham fest. I don't know how they do it, but they look very happy there. Hopefully the sales were good that day. I see Ron's in the chat room there, so we'll say hello to Ron. And boy, I tell you, the hats are beautiful that he has there. And then, you know, if you just keep coming on down, here's another picture. Now, Katie won't be with us this year at Huntsville. I don't know why she's missing. I guess she has something better to do. Maybe a better offer somewhere. Maybe it's the I don't know. Maybe it's the eclipse. I have no idea. But there's Katie visiting right outside our booth there, and she's always an interesting person to talk to when you see Katie. You know, another benefit of getting down here to Huntsville is after hours. You know, here I am. Here, Kathy and I were invited to a secret meeting. This is the entire MFJ organization here, from Ameritron to Vectronics to MFJ to whatever all the companies are. So I don't have it at my fingertips now, but there's Richard there, and Martin bought us dinner that night. So we probably, man,
that was nice.
Yeah, a meal that big, he probably had to go up a little bit on prices, I imagine, that year, you know, for everybody. So I was talking about the catwalks above. Here's a picture I made a number of years ago, looking one direction. This is just a small part of the Hamfest, but this is a shot taken from the catwalks up at the top, and here's another view here. Let me go back. Most of that area right there is the new vendors, the commercial vendors.
It is.
Yeah, that's the commercial vendors. And then if you look here on the right side, you'll see a lot of, this is just flea market area. It goes all the way down this wall, and it actually makes a left down there, and it goes across the other end of the building. And there's even more behind us, behind the camera now. I only shot this thing in one direction. But, you know, Jordan, you guys have always done this. You guys have always, and let me know, have you got one of these things yet, or are you getting one? Oh, you don't know what you're looking at. I'm showing the MFJ antenna analyzer now. Have you guys got that yet?
Yes, we have got it coming.
Okay,
pick that
cool.
up here on Friday, and we will get that to you to give away on your stream.
Cool.
Either Saturday or Sunday, whichever you want to do it.
So this is a prize from Jordan and the Hamfest prize committee. This is from the Hamfest committee. This is a very nice. This is one of their high-end antenna analyzers, and some lucky winner is going to win this. And hey, just a short story, Jordan. Typically we don't handle prizes, but you guys give us this prize each year and we ship it. But 1 year, 2 or 3 years ago, I shipped that through my company, FedEx, and they lost it.
Oh no!
And it took me like, I don't know, 30 or 60 days. We got it replaced, and I got a check cut. It was a big mess, man. But anyway.
Oh wow.
Anyway, the only one you give me to ship, and it gets lost. Even with a tracking number, the tracking number disappears. But they found it. They did find it.
Well, that's not good.
They did find it about a month later at a post office somewhere. I don't know. So let's see what we got here. So yeah, and I think I've got. Let me throw up you guys' site here, if I can. I'm going to bring up, for everybody watching out there, you can go to hamfest.org, hamfest.org, and you can tune in there, and you can see the spaces, the vendor spaces, the flea market spaces. I think don't you guys sell out every year? This place is packed every year.
Pretty much we do. We were actually sold out on our flea market tables until about less than a week ago. We had a couple that had to pull out, and so we have very limited tables available in the flea market, but our dealer space is completely sold out.
All right. Well, hey, it's nice, man. I tell you, I love this Hamfest. It's the friendliest in the world. That's the way you guys advertise it. So let's see. You can see the pages. You can just go through the pages there and click on the different links, and you'll be able to learn more about the Huntsville Hamfest. It's August the 19th and the 20th. We're going to be down there on Friday, August the 18th. We'll be setting up about noontime or 1 o'clock. And for everyone out there, we will be streaming our drive live Friday morning. That's this Friday morning. We'll be streaming it live on W5KUB.com. It'll be about a 3-hour drive. It's actually 3 hours and 8 minutes, but Kathy's going to drive, so we'll probably make it in about 2 hours and 15 minutes, unless we get stopped. But we'll get down there about noontime, and we'll pull our truck inside and set our booth up and our cameras and everything up, and we'll leave them rolling Thursday afternoon, because there's a lot of people that come in there Thursday to set up, the day before the Hamfest. You'll see people like Bob Heil and Gordon West and just all kinds of people that are going to come by and get on the show Thursday during setup day. So it'll be cool. And then we're going to give prizes away. We got a lot of prizes we're going to give away on Friday and Saturday. Let me pull up, let me show you some of the prizes real quick. If you go to our website, W5KUB.com, that's where you should be watching right now. If you go there, and at the top you can click on prizes and select Huntsville 2017. And here's just a quick review of some of the prizes that we'll be giving out. There's that antenna analyzer that Jordan will be providing us from the Hamfest committee. Ham Radio Deluxe, antennas from Radio Waves, handy talkies from Yaesu, handbooks, antenna books, ham call, subscriptions to CQ. We've got multiple $100 gift certificates for DX Engineering. I know you guys can buy something from DX Engineering. Gigaparts has given us a FT270R for a prize. Here's that beautiful hat that we're talking about Ron and Amy making. Ron's in the chat room, K9ID. He's in there. Everybody say hello to Ron, and we wish you good luck winning that hat. Now, you can get a hat with your own call on there, or if you would like a hat with W5KUB time on there, we might have to charge you just a little bit extra Let's see what else we got. Cantronics has always been a great supporter at multiple Hamfests for us. This is a KPC3 packet communicator. That's about a $200 to $300 piece of equipment. This year they came out with something new they wanted us to give. It's an all-mode wireless modem. Look at the price on it, $446. So that's a neat prize that we'll be giving out. We're going to be giving out QSL cards or ham stuff. MFJ is always a great supporter. We've got MFJ SWR meters, antenna switches, dummy loads, CW oscillators, headsets, 24-hour clocks. We're going to have microlog logging programs. Tigertronics, a great supporter. Oh, this is the one that everybody wants to win. Here's a spool of LMR 400 cable. Wow. R&L Jetstream seal. And here's some lucky person's going to win 1,000 full color QSL cards. So you can see some of the prizes there that we'll be giving out. All you got to do is answer when we call your name, and you'll win. So, yeah. So, Jordan, what else is going on down there in Huntsville? And I guess you guys have been working really hard to get ready for this, right?
We are. We actually had a meeting with the VBC today, and everything looks good to go. We're going to get in there Friday morning, make sure everything is set, and then we will start moving at 10. That'll go all day on Friday. I think the doors close for the VBC at 9, so the last car we will take in is about 8 o'clock or so, if I believe I have that correct. And then we will have 2 hours of move-in on Saturday, and then the show starts at 9 o'clock and goes to 4 on Saturday, and opens at 9 on Sunday, and the last drawing is at 2 o'clock on Sunday, and then we will move out after that.
Wow. Man, it's always a great show. Kathy
we try to make it that way.
Hey, you ask Kathy, she'll tell you it's probably the nicest show we've been to. I'm talking air conditioned, climate control. Hey, no rain, no wind, no hail, no sleet, no snow. You drive in, you unload. You know, if it's rain, hey, I think it may be raining Friday when we head down that way. We're going to be able to drive our truck inside that building right there and stop right there at our booth and unload.
Yep.
And the setup, I mean, we'll be staying in a hotel that's connected to the Von Braun Center. You don't even have to go outside from the hotel. They've got a air-conditioned walkway that takes you to the Hamfest. They got parking underneath the hotel and the Von Braun Center. So, man, you don't even have to get out in the weather at all.
No, you don't. And it's one of the best Hamfests I've been to, and I've worked. And I've been to a couple of Hamfests. I don't do really much, but the ones I've been to, we are the one of the best Hamfests in the South.
Well, and I thought I had some pictures of the convention center from the air. Man, it's just huge, and you guys have a lot of area that you can expand to as this thing grows.
Yes, we do.
All right, well, Jordan. Hey, Jordan, thanks a lot for calling in. I'll be coming in. I'll be there about noon or 1 o'clock on Friday. I'll see you then.
All righty, then we'll be ready to receive you and get you set up.
All right, man, I really appreciate you calling in tonight, Jordan. Thank you.
Not a problem.
All right, good night.
All right, good night.
Okay, that was Jordan, W4 HBO, down in Huntsville, Alabama, talking about the Huntsville Hamfest. Hey, just a couple of other things here, just real quick. I'll mention, I know 100 Watts in a Wire is doing, Sam in the chat room told us that 100 Watts in a Wire was doing a drive to help out a child that has a pretty rare disease, and we want to share that with you too. Let me pull that up, and here's what they're asking. Yeah, here's what they're asking. Let me see if I can get it on the show here. This is a little boy named Oakley Savicus. He's in Alma, Minnesota, and he's got a rare disease. Only 1,500 people in the U.S. have this disease. He's 6 years old, and has this rare disease. And one of the things that makes him happy is getting letters from people, and he wants to receive birthday cards from all over the world. That's what he says makes him happy, seeing those birthday cards come in from all over the world. So if you guys would like to just send him a QSL card and write on your happy birthday, that would be cool. Let me give you the address here real quick and just jot this down. It's real simple. There's the address. Write this down on a piece of paper, or you can view the show later. But it's Oakley Savicus, Post Office Box 201, Alma, that's Michigan, 48801. Post Office Box 201, Alma, Michigan, 48801. You know, hey, get a QSL card and just stick a stamp on it. Don't put it in an envelope. Just stick a stamp on a QSL card. Write that address on there and say happy birthday, and tell him where you're from. And I think it would really make this little guy happy to receive a bunch of cards from ham radio operators. He may not know what we are, but he will. I'm sure he will enjoy that. All right, so hey, we've covered a lot of material tonight. Just remember, next Monday is the solar eclipse. Okay, let me tell you, if you're going to watch a solar eclipse, you need to get some good glasses. Make sure they're the ISO glasses. There's a lot of fake ones out there that will damage your eyes. In fact, I heard that Amazon is calling back hundreds of thousands of these because they don't meet the requirements. The requirements should be marked inside your thing, your ISO here, and there's a number up here, but hopefully you'll get a good deal. Some people are talking about using welding helmets. You know, I'm a MIG welder in my shop. I've got a MIG welding helmet and also one with a little handle I can hold up. I did look at the sun through it. It seemed to work, but I'm not sure what number glass I've got in here. I don't know if I've got a number 14 or a number 12, but I think you need the strongest glass if you're going to use a welding glass. Another thing you can do, look it up on the internet. It's real simple. You can make a pinhole projector. Pinhole projector. I should have brought it with me, but hey, just get you a piece of white cardboard and get you another piece of cardboard and put a hole in that cardboard, that other piece of cardboard, and you hold that up there, and the sun comes through that hole, and it will create a perfect image on that white cardboard, and you can see the sun and you can see the moon as it goes across. It's just, and it won't hurt your eyes. You don't need glasses for that. So it's called a pinhole projector for viewing the solar eclipse. So Kathy and I, we're going to stay in Huntsville Sunday night. Monday morning, we're going to try to drive up to north of Nashville. We will be in the area of 100% totality. In fact, that's probably the longest totality on the whole arc that it comes across the U.S. I think we're going to be in totality something like 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So we're going to try to get up there and see it. It's about a 2-hour drive from Huntsville. We'll probably leave about 8 o'clock. The totality doesn't begin until around 1 o'clock p.m. So that gives us a good 5 hours to get up there. The problem is, even on the highways in Memphis, already the highway signs are talking about the number of cars, plan ahead, the number of cars that are going to be on the highways. They're expecting millions and millions of additional cars to be on the roads going to see this. So, you know, there's places having solar eclipse parties. I mean, after it's over, you stay there, you drink, you eat. At night, they have the music. We're not going to anything like that. This is a detour for Kathy and I on our way home. This is just north of Nashville. But my strategy is to try to get to some little unknown place where there's not millions of people And let me see. I've got a. I'll show you what we're going to try to do. Let me put that on here. If you look at the Google map here, the totality is going to come through Gallatin, Tennessee, right here. It's going to come at an angle right through here. It's going to come right through here. And it's going to be 70 miles wide. The totality is 70 miles wide. And we're just going to, we'll be coming in from south of Nashville, from Huntsville, straight up 65. We're going to come up 65. And instead of turning here and going out to Gallatin, which is the opposite way to our house, we're just going to go up to Millersville, or maybe Goodlettsville, right here. And we're going to try to find us a spot and watch the eclipse there. Now, I've done some scoping out here, and if you look at this is at Millersville, and I've noticed that right off of I-65 right there, if we get off I-65, hey, there's a Kroger store right here, Kroger store, and look, a big field right here, big parking lot. That's going to be a possibility. We just park in a parking lot for 20 minutes, and we try to watch the eclipse. Maybe we can get in the grass here. If that doesn't work, hey, look over here, man. Here's a Kmart, big parking lot here. A lot of grass right here behind Domino's Pizza. So we may just park here and walk over here into the grass, and we'll be here. And hey, we've got a Cracker Barrel. We've got a Cracker Barrel right here. We'll probably eat lunch there because it's going to be about lunchtime. And who knows? If we're parked here at Cracker Barrel, we might even be able to see it from this area here. So that's our plan, to try to not go to a public park or something like that. We're going to try to just see it from just from a public, place like a parking lot or something. And then we're going to drive home from Nashville to our home. It's about 3 hours, 3 hours and a half right here. So that's the show for tonight. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hey, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, click on the link at the top of the page, join Facebook group. We'd love to have you there. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can bring Hangout up real quick. We always have Hangout after the show. Hangout is where anybody can click on a link and they can join our show with video and be on the show actually. So let me see if I can bring it up. And maybe somebody will put Hangout in the link in here for us. Let's see. Mike can do it. Let's see. Well, I'm messing up. Did anybody get the Hangout link in? I'll try to get it on there. All right, here we go.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
How's it going?
Hey, pretty good. I'm trying to copy the Hangout link here. So it's hard to do when you're trying to do a show. But all right, here we go. Well, I'll just paste the whole thing. Here we go. Copy. Paste. Okay, that should have the link in it. It did. Okay, thanks Bill for putting a link in. Oh well, okay. Well, hey, cool. So let's see. There's Bill out in Wyoming. Did I get that right?
Montana.
God. Montana.
Northern Wyoming.
Hey, Montana, Wyoming, aren't they kind of all the same out there?
Some people say they are.
Yeah. Well, we just lost your picture.
My picture's there.
Well, when I said I got the wrong state, I hit my fist on the table here and your picture went out. But hey, Douglas' picture's there. Now your picture's back now. Your picture's back.
All right. I just restarted the camera.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, we had a busy show tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. A lot of stuff.
Yeah. So, are you guys going to, let's see, you're in Wyoming, right? Did I get that right? Montana.
Yeah, we're about 96% covered here.
You're going to get 96. Okay, so it really won't get dark, but with glasses, you'd be able to see the moon and the coverage. Even at 95%, I think it's going to still be pretty light outside. It's what I understand. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll probably be more like dusk.
Yeah. But that pinhole projector is really good for people. I went out and played with it in the sun the last couple of days, and it focuses just a perfect sun on a piece of white paper, and more than one person could look at that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. And I've got Memphis Astronomical Society is giving away a bunch of these. There's a lot of people giving these away, actually. I don't know if you read that or not.
Yeah, we had the library was giving them away
this
week.
Or you can buy them. You can go to Lowe's or anywhere and buy them, so.
Yeah, they're available pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. Just be careful, guys. Do not look at the sun, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't try looking at the sun.
Noise coming from.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to see where it's coming from.
Not for me.
Yeah, I don't
There
see.
it goes. Yeah, so going to.
I don't see any I don't see any lights flashing on him, but it started when he came on. So I'm gonna vote for Bill. I'm gonna vote Bill.
No, I'm going to vote for Douglas with the glass.
Yeah, let's see. Let me check Douglas out. It might be Douglas. I think it's Douglas.
Yeah, it is.
I'm seeing a lot of noise come back from Douglas. All right. Sound like he's plugging mics in or something.
Getting all the stuff working.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, I sure miss Doc. Doc hadn't been here in a long time. Was Doc in the chat room tonight?
Yes, he was. I said hello to him. He didn't answer me back, though.
Oh, well.
Busy man, busy. I saw him at National Jamboree several times, so I was pretty convinced.
Oh, was he there? Okay, cool. NZ5X, Larry, you're welcome. I hope you come back and watch the show again. And Arnie, we'll see you in Huntsville in a few days. We'll be there. And I'm glad Bill made it home from the National Jamboree or whatever it was called.
Yep.
And
did you drive or did you fly, Bill?
No, I flew. It's a bit too much for me to, make the trek in the vehicle.
Yeah. Did you fly into Huntington?
No, I actually flew into Charlotte. We were picking up some gear in Charlotte, so I flew in there and then got a ride with some of the guys, and we went over, picked up some of the gear, and loaded it up in a trailer, and drove up from there, and then I caught a ride back with one of the guys heading to Florida.
Oh, cool.
well, it looked like you guys were having a good time. I wish you'd had time to get on a zip line. That'd have been cool.
I tried. I really did, but the lines were a little bit long for the SCAF when they had those days open for us. So I was like, well, I've already done some zip lining, so I'm good if I don't get to do it.
Those lines came pretty close to the radio tent, didn't they?
Yeah, one of the shorter lines came right behind the.
I would
right behind
I would run a wire out there and connect it to them and tuned it. Yeah.
I'm too fat for zip lines, I think.
Oh no, yeah, you can do. Not too. Nobody is, man. Well, I tell you, I saw one. I saw one on TV last week. I mean, the one that I've got a video here of me doing. You move about 35 miles an hour when you go over the forest. It's not that fast, There's another one over there that does about 65 miles an hour. And I saw one on TV last night. They hook you in that thing laying down kind of flat like Superman, and I think it does like 120 miles an hour.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah, they have one there at the Jamboree that does, I think you can get up to like 55 or 60. It's called the Big Zip. It goes from the side of one of the hills there, I guess they're probably mountains, across a lake and then over towards Summit Center. that one looked like it was a lot of fun, but definitely you had to do a little hiking to get to it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If you jump off a bridge, you can go 186 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Terminal velocity.
Well, is that in a vacuum or is that in air?
No,
I guess it depends on how skinny. I guess it depends on how skinny you are, right?
Yeah, that's the terminal velocity of the average human being dropping through the atmosphere.
Did you guys see the, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago? You get to see the guy that jumped out of the balloon at, 100,000 feet or something like that? Did y'all see that video?
I saw that on YouTube. It was great. Fantastic.
Oh, man, let me tell you, it was a long ways down, and when he walked out, that camera, oh man, when he walked out on that little plank, like walked the plank, and all you could see was the curvature of the earth down below, oh man. And then
what was it, 120,000 feet, I think he was?
Yeah, something like that, and I think it actually, of course nobody's done that before. I don't think they've maybe done that hike, but he did it, and he got into a tumble, and he didn't think he was going to come out of it. And he was in a tumble for quite a while, and finally, he came out of it, and he landed. And when he kissed I think when he got down, he kissed the ground. I think he said he would never do that again.
Yeah, I would have kissed the ground and loaded something else.
Oh man.
Hey guys, I'm going to be in and out of here quick tonight.
All right. Well, that was quick.
Yeah, we got a house full of people. We had my sister's ashes
okay.
Yesterday in the local cemetery, so I got a whole bunch of people in the house here, so I'm just going to kind of...
All right. Well, go visit your family.
Watching Huntsville this weekend when I get a chance to wait for Hambot to...
I'll put a good word in for Hambot for you. I really will.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
Good night.
73.
Good night, Mike.
All right,
Take
good night.
Good night.
Well, Jordan says he's headed to bed. Good night, Jordan. W4HBO. We'll see you later. See you in let's see, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll see you in 3 days.
Douglas still having some microphone problems.
What was that, Bill?
Douglas is still having some microphone problems there.
Yeah, it sounded like you got a loose connection or something. Maybe in a mic plug or something. I don't know. Maybe a dirty mic jack. I tell you, I just realized 20 minutes ago, I forgot to turn the audio on to the radio station tonight.
Oh no.
Yeah.
A lot of dead air there.
Yeah, well, hey.
I mean, Mud Robert hasn't been in the chat room for, at least 6 weeks now?
I have not seen him, and it used to be cool seeing him in the chat room because he would always remind me, hey, I'm not getting any audio, but the last weeks he hadn't been in there, but they've still been getting our audio on the show, so on the station.
Well, I know that they did an upgrade up there, and I saw a bunch of stuff that was hanging out in the elements, if you will. And I know I sent you an email and asked you if you saw it.
I didn't see it, but there's probably a lot of surplus stuff hanging out there.
Oh, there was serious stuff.
Nice video, Bill. I can read your computer screens reflecting off your glasses. Looks cool.
Really?
Yeah, I can see your password.
There's no password.
I see your password. I see your password. No password. No, is your password password?
I have no password. Uh-oh. Did Doug.
Well, we'll get to see. We'll get to see. What was that?
He's got another camera going here by the looks of it.
Oh yeah, he's got 2 cameras going. We got Doug in stereo. Now we don't.
I haven't figured out how to do that yet. I know you need like an app to join them to one stream.
Well, I'm on my cell phone right now, which has better internet than my satellite internet.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that's satellite internet. Tom will tell you about them.
Well, we've had good luck for a few years. We put a Ka band satellite uplink up at Dayton for the show, and the most we could get, I mean, the way it was designed to get 3 megs up, we could get about 12 down, but of course we need the up speed. And 3 megs up always, it was dedicated for us, so it always seemed to work fairly good for us. We usually run we probably run a meg and a half video.
I saw some video on Friedrichshafen in Germany, the big European ham fest.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. Oh my God, was it huge?
Yeah, I've looked at. I haven't been over there. I've seen several videos from that area.
The one in Tokyo is pretty big too, if I remember correctly.
They run a huge maker fair at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Tokyo one's number 1, and the Friedrichshafen is number 2 for size.
I liked running around the streets of Akihabara. It was a lot of fun.
Well, guys, we'll be live Friday. The show starts Saturday. Tune in, win some prizes.
What time you starting out on Friday, Tom? About 8?
We'll probably, so we always get out a little later than we anticipate. We'll be out of here by 9 o'clock, I'm sure. Probably 8:30. Probably stop at McDonald's. Get a quick breakfast for like 15 minutes, and then hit the highway. It'll take us about 3 hours to get down there, so we'll stream that, and we'll stream as we get inside and set up.
Well, I'm really happy for Marty. I think he's fantastic. I watch him all the time on YouTube and wherever he is floating around. He really puts a lot of effort into everything. I'm really glad he's getting an award. It's young people like that are going to keep the hobby going.
Well, he's in one of these STEM courses with the high tech school, and people probably don't know this, but it takes Marty about 3 hours to get to school every day. He does it by himself. He has to get on the train. He makes, I think, 2 or 3 train connections.
Oh yeah.
And then he walks 30 minutes. And I'm not sure where he goes. I guess it's in the same state.
He goes to Jamaica Plain, which is a suburb of Boston. A little bit closer than where he lives.
Wow, I mean that's a long ways. I mean, for a 15-year-old to be on his own to make 3 train switches and walk 30 minutes.
Well, I know for me to go to the VA hospital in Boston, I do about 3/4 of what he does, and he's like at least another 7 or 8 miles down the road, and he has to come to the central where you exchange trains and go the other way.
Yeah. Well, hey, he's getting his driver's license in about a few weeks, I think. So.
Well, I'll have to talk to his father about that.
Yeah, so he'll get him a car and he can cut that transportation down there. But you guys,
I mean, he's a young kid. I mean, I could see him trying to go through Route 20 or Route 2 from where he lives into Boston with bumper to bumper traffic in the middle of a blinding snowstorm.
Well, you guys up there in northeast New York places, I mean, most people don't even have a car. You can't park it anywhere, and it probably costs too much to park it. And
it does. It costs you, what, $16?
Down here where I live, everybody has 4 or 5 cars, and a pickup. So.
Yeah, well, if you live in New York City and you live in downtown Boston and work in downtown Boston, there's absolutely no reason to have a car. It's just too much hassle, too expensive.
Yep.
And you can just Uber anywhere you need to go, or take the train or whatever.
Yeah.
Massachusetts
When I lived in
is
Washington,
fantastic light rail, so you can go from like Gloucester to Boston in like 20 minutes on the light rail. So there's a lot of options. Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I lived in Washington, D.C., so, I mean, I know about traffic snarls. Let me tell you, that is
the
unreal.
Beltway's a nightmare, yeah.
Well, I didn't live in the Beltway. I lived in Alexandria, so I used to take the subway from the bottom of my street into the Pentagon, and then I used to get on a bus and go up the hill.
I had to go there for work a bunch of times, and I gave up with the car. I just parked at the metro station and took the train in because I couldn't deal with the traffic and the parking and the headaches. It's just too much. Same thing when I go to New York City. I just drive down there. I park in the garage and jump in a taxi. Much less stress on me.
Yeah. Man, I'm about ready for a peanut butter sandwich.
Already?
Yeah. Yeah, I might have to get me something like that. Getting hungry. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to our trip Friday. I tell you, I mean, this is one of the nicest ham fests in the world, I think, and they treat us, they bring us down, and I mean, they give us a booth and they get us in and they feed us, and we get to go behind the curtain where all the vendors, man, they bring in honey baked ham and all kinds of drinks and cokes and.
What do they comping you for everything, Tom? For the media?
Well, they give us a space and tickets, and we get all the food in there. Yeah, we get to eat. We get to eat, with the vendors. That's the nice thing about it. You can just go down here and just get you a honey baked ham sandwich, or get you a box of donuts, or whatever you want, man.
Get these. There we go. Good evening, all.
There he is. Howdy.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, Mark.
Doing good.
Where you hiding tonight? What room you in?
Oh, I'm in the kitchen.
Oh,
okay.
In the kitchen, yeah.
We didn't see the shower curtain tonight.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think that night we were changing the site for the diabetes, the insulin.
Oh, okay. Cool.
We're doing a great show again.
Well, good. I mean, it kind of fell together toward the end. We were supposed to have other guests on, and they never showed up. By the weekend, I knew if I hadn't heard from them that we needed to have a backup plan in place. So, it just kind of fell together in the last couple of days. I think it turned out okay.
I thought it was a good show, and I look forward to the SDR that you're going to be running here in a couple of weeks. Oh, jeez, New England.
Yeah, man, I'm up there at Bill now. Look at this, man.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's my backyard. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, it quits doing that about August, doesn't it?
What's that?
That your snow, doesn't it quit about August, and it don't come back till October?
Gone by what was it? It was gone like the week before Memorial Day, and of course, we had to go out and get the flowers for the cemetery and whatever, And
yeah,
my mother says to me, she says, we'll put them in on Saturday, and I says, yeah, okay. So we drove down there, put them in on Saturday, and it rained, and I says, oh well.
Mm.
Oh, we have artificials in the grave for my dad. We have them urns on either side. So we don't got to go worry about water them. They got make them good artificial looking ones now.
Now, my mother's 93 years old. She doesn't believe in fake flowers. She believes in the real thing. So,
well, guys, it's 10 o'clock here.
alrighty.
It's 11 o'clock East Coast. What is
Yep.
that? 8 o'clock West Coast. 5 o'clock somewhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and get ready to hit the road in just a few days. I gotta get a few things together here, and we'll be hitting the road. So you guys tune in Friday. What was that?
Yeah, I'll have to. I don't know. Did you say something, Douglas?
Doug sounds like a mouse or something. He's squeaking.
Yeah. Sounds like a mouse or something.
Say something, Doug.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, well, he sounded fine that time. I don't know what that was. It looked like it was coming from you because you lit up when the noise came through. I don't know, but it sounded good that time.
Yeah. Well, wish y'all a pleasant evening.
All right, look, you guys stay on here. You guys stay on here and talk all night, and I'm gonna go ahead and close the show down, and we will see you next week. We'll see you this weekend.
Yeah, I'll be there, Tom.
All right,
Talk
guys.
To you soon.
All right, we'll see you. Good night.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if anybody's left here tonight watching the show, we thank you for joining with us. Looking to see if Mark Pupo is on here. Mark P, are you on here? I don't see you, Mark. I don't recognize his new call letters. I guess he's not in here tonight. But good night, Bill. See you. Good night to everybody else. Thanks a lot for tuning in.